Welcome back to 6 Trivia, your go-to destination for fascinating facts and myth-busting trivia. Today, we're continuing our journey through the world of culinary myths, uncovering the truth behind common misconceptions. Let's dive right in. Myth 1. Searing meat seals in juices. Did you know that searing meat doesn't actually seal in juices? It's a common culinary myth that searing meat locks in moisture, but in reality, it just creates a delicious crust. The Maillard reaction that occurs during searing creates that tasty crust, but it doesn't affect the meat's moisture content. So, sear away for flavor, but don't expect it to keep your meat juicy. Myth 2. Adding salt to beans while cooking makes them tough. Another popular myth is that adding salt to beans while cooking makes them tough. In fact, salt actually helps beans cook more evenly and enhances their flavor. By seasoning your beans during the cooking process, you're ensuring that every bite is perfectly seasoned and delicious. Myth 3. Washing mushrooms makes them absorb water like a sponge. Contrary to popular belief, washing mushrooms doesn't make them absorb water like a sponge. In reality, mushrooms are porous and actually don't absorb much water at all. So, feel free to give your mushrooms a quick rinse to remove any dirt or debris without worrying about them getting waterlogged. Myth 4. Adding oil to pasta water prevents it from sticking together. Some people think that adding oil to pasta water prevents it from sticking together. The truth is, stirring the pasta while it cooks is the key to preventing clumping. Instead of relying on oil, make sure to give your pasta a stir every now and then to keep it from sticking. Your pasta will cook evenly and come out perfectly every time. Myth 5. Cooking with alcohol burns off all the alcohol content. Many believe that cooking with alcohol burns off all the alcohol content. While some alcohol does evaporate, not all of it does, so be cautious if you're avoiding alcohol. If you're sensitive to alcohol or avoiding it for any reason, be mindful of recipes that call for alcohol and consider alternative ingredients or cooking methods. Myth 6. Defrosting meat at room temperature is safe. Contrary to popular belief, defrosting meat at room temperature is not safe. In fact, it can lead to bacterial growth and foodborne illness. Always defrost meat in the refrigerator or using the microwave for safe thawing. Don't take chances with your food safety. Follow proper defrosting methods to keep your meals delicious and safe to eat. Myth 7. Chicken is safe to eat when it turns white. While it's true that chicken should be cooked until it's no longer pink, relying solely on color can be misleading. The only way to ensure chicken is safe to eat is by checking its internal temperature with a meat thermometer, which should reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 75 degrees Celsius. Don't play guessing games with poultry. Invest in a reliable meat thermometer to ensure your chicken is cooked to perfection every time. Myth 8. Hot water freezes faster than cold water. This myth, known as the Mpemba effect, has puzzled scientists for centuries. While some experiments have shown that hot water can freeze faster in certain conditions, it's not consistently reproducible. The exact mechanisms behind this phenomenon remain a mystery. Despite ongoing research, the Mpemba effect continues to defy easy explanation, leaving scientists and curious minds alike scratching their heads. Myth 9. Adding baking soda to boiling eggs makes them easier to peel. While some people swear by this trick, the science behind it is dubious. Baking soda may alter the pH of the egg whites, but its effect on peeling is inconsistent. For consistently easy-to-peel eggs, start with older eggs, shock them in ice water after boiling, and peel them under running water. Don't rely on shortcuts. Follow proven methods for perfect boiled eggs every time. No baking soda required. Myth 10. Cooking with olive oil turns it into a trans fat. There is a common misconception that heating olive oil to high temperatures transforms it into trans fat, which is considered unhealthy. However, olive oil is primarily composed of monounsaturated fats, which are stable at high temperatures and do not convert into trans fats during cooking. While olive oil may undergo some oxidation when heated, it does not undergo the chemical process necessary to form trans fats. Cooking with olive oil is a healthy choice, especially when used in moderation as part of a balanced diet. Myth 11. Salting eggplant before cooking removes bitterness. While salting eggplant can draw out excess moisture and some bitterness, Modern eggplant varieties are less bitter than older varieties, making salting unnecessary in many cases. Slicing the eggplant and allowing it to sit for about 30 minutes before cooking can also help reduce bitterness without the need for salt. Myth 12. Adding oil to water prevents pasta from boiling over. Adding oil to pasta water may reduce surface tension, but it won't prevent boiling over. Instead, it creates a slick layer on the water's surface that can prevent sauces from clinging to the pasta later. To prevent boiling over, simply use a larger pot and avoid overcrowding. Myth 13. Cutting lettuce with a metal knife causes it to brown. While cutting lettuce with a metal knife may cause slight oxidation, the effect is minimal and won't significantly impact the taste or appearance of the lettuce. To keep lettuce fresh, store it in the refrigerator in a plastic bag or container. Myth 14. Leaving the pit in guacamole keeps it from turning brown. While the pit of an avocado can help slow down oxidation slightly, it won't prevent guacamole from turning brown altogether. To keep guacamole fresh, press plastic wrap directly onto the surface to minimize air exposure, or add lemon or lime juice to slow down browning. Myth 15. Cooking olive oil at high heat makes it unhealthy. While heating olive oil to its smoke point can degrade its quality and flavor, it doesn't make it unhealthy. Olive oil is still a heart-healthy fat, even when used for cooking at high temperatures. To preserve its flavor and nutritional benefits, use olive oil for low to medium heat cooking and drizzling over finished dishes. Myth 16. Double dipping spreads more germs than single dipping. While double dipping may introduce more bacteria to a communal dip, the actual risk of spreading illness is relatively low. The likelihood of getting sick from double dipping depends on various factors, including the health of the individuals involved and the cleanliness of the dipping utensils. Myth 17. Adding milk to coffee prevents it from staining your teeth. While adding milk to coffee can dilute its acidity and reduce staining, coffee still contains tannins and acids that can discolor teeth over time. To minimize staining, rinse your mouth with water after drinking coffee, or brush your teeth shortly afterward. Myth 18. The higher the turkey's pop-up timer pops, the drier the turkey. The pop-up timer in a turkey indicates that it has reached a safe minimum internal temperature for consumption, typically around 165 degrees Fahrenheit or 75 degrees Celsius. The pop-up timer's height doesn't correlate with the turkey's moisture level. Factors such as cooking time, temperature, and brining play a more significant role in determining the turkey's juiciness. Myth 19. Rinsing rice before cooking removes nutrients. Rinsing rice before cooking can remove excess starch and debris, but it won't significantly impact its nutrient content. While some water-soluble nutrients may leach out during rinsing, rice is not a significant source of essential nutrients in the first place. A balanced diet includes a variety of foods to ensure adequate nutrient intake. Myth 20. Putting metal in the microwave causes sparks. While metal objects with sharp edges or points can cause sparks and damage the microwave, not all metals are created equal. Microwave-safe metals, such as those found in microwave-safe cookware, pose little to no risk of sparking or damage. However, it's best to avoid putting any metal objects in the microwave to prevent accidents. Myth 21. Putting a wooden spoon across a boiling pot prevents it from boiling over. Placing a wooden spoon across a boiling pot may create an obstacle that disrupts the formation of bubbles, temporarily preventing boiling over. However, it's not a foolproof method, and boiling over can still occur if the pot is too full or if the heat is too high. It's best to monitor the pot closely and adjust the heat as needed to prevent spills. Myth 22. Cooking with a lid on a pot makes it boil faster. While covering a pot with a lid can trap heat and increase the temperature inside, it doesn't necessarily make the water boil faster. Instead, it helps retain heat and energy, allowing the water to reach a boil more efficiently once it reaches the appropriate temperature. However, covering the pot can also create pressure, which may affect cooking times for certain foods. Myth 23. Adding salt to water makes it boil faster. Adding salt to water can raise its boiling point slightly, but the difference is minimal and typically not noticeable in everyday cooking. The primary purpose of adding salt to water is to enhance the flavor of the food being cooked, such as pasta or vegetables. Myth 24. Using soap to wash mushrooms makes them clean better. Washing mushrooms with soap is unnecessary and can actually ruin their texture and flavor. Mushrooms are porous and absorbent, so they can easily absorb soap residue, which can alter their taste and make them soapy. Instead, rinse mushrooms briefly under cold running water and gently pat them dry with a paper towel to remove any dirt or debris. Myth 25. Chewing gum takes 7 years to digest if swallowed. This myth is false. While chewing gum is not meant to be swallowed, if it is accidentally ingested, it typically passes through the digestive system without causing any harm. The body cannot digest gum in the same way it digests food, but it will eventually be excreted in the same manner as other indigestible substances. Myth 26. Microwaving food removes all its nutrients. While cooking methods like microwaving can cause some nutrient loss, the extent depends on factors such as cooking time, temperature, and the type of food being cooked. Microwaving is actually one of the gentler cooking methods, as it heats food quickly and with minimal water, helping to preserve nutrients better than boiling or steaming. Myth 27. Marinating meat tenderizes it. While marinating can impart flavor to meat, it doesn't necessarily tenderize it. The tenderizing effect of marinades comes from ingredients such as acidic liquids, like vinegar or citrus juice, or enzymatic ingredients, like pineapple or papaya, which break down muscle fibers over time. However, the degree of tenderization depends on factors such as the type of meat, the duration of marination, and the ingredients used. Myth 28. Cooking with aluminum foil causes Alzheimer's disease. There is no scientific evidence to support the claim that cooking with aluminum foil causes Alzheimer's disease. While excessive exposure to aluminum can be harmful to health, the amount of aluminum that leaches into food during cooking is minimal and unlikely to cause harm. However, it's still a good idea to avoid using aluminum foil with acidic or salty foods, as they can increase aluminum leaching. Myth 29. Peeling potatoes removes all their nutrients. While some nutrients are found in the skin of potatoes, such as fiber and certain vitamins, the majority of the nutrients are found in the flesh. Peeling potatoes may remove some of the skin's nutrients, but the impact on overall nutrient content is minimal, especially when considering that potatoes are not a significant source of essential nutrients in the first place. Myth 30. Thawing frozen food on the counter is safe. Many people believe that leaving frozen food out on the counter to thaw is a safe and convenient method. However, thawing food at room temperature can lead to bacterial growth and increase the risk of foodborne illness. The safest methods for thawing frozen food are in the refrigerator under cold running water or in the microwave. These methods help prevent the growth of harmful bacteria and ensure that the food remains safe to eat. And here is a bonus culinary myth. Bonus myth 31. Eating raw cookie dough can cause salmonella poisoning. Many people believe that consuming raw cookie dough containing raw eggs poses a risk of salmonella poisoning. While raw eggs can potentially contain salmonella bacteria, the risk of illness from consuming raw cookie dough is relatively low. The likelihood of encountering contaminated eggs is small, and commercial eggs in most places are often pasteurized to reduce the risk of salmonella contamination. However, to minimize the risk further, consider using pasteurized eggs or egg substitutes in recipes that call for raw eggs, especially if serving vulnerable populations such as young children, pregnant women, or individuals with compromised immune systems. These are just a few examples of culinary myths that have been debunked. Stay tuned for more myth-busting tips.